Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. welcome to my live, and if you happen to be watching later, welcome to the replay. My name is Robin, and I'm with Robin's Egg Blue Creations, and I'm also an independent designer with Couture. Once you hop on the live this evening, or even if you're watching the replay later, go ahead and say hi in the comments and tell me where you're watching from. I also want to let you know that I'm live in 3 different locations using an online platform called StreamYard, and there is StreamYard's mascot right there, Mr. Puddles. So StreamYard allows me to go live in 3 different locations this evening. I'm live on my Facebook business page, I'm live on my YouTube channel, and I'm also live in my private Facebook group, the Crafty Collab. So if you hear me refer to a comment that you don't see in your feed, that person may be viewing and commenting from a different platform. Also, if you're watching from my Facebook group, if you wouldn't mind giving StreamYard permission to access your profile name, that way you show up as your name in my comments and not Facebook user, and that way I know who to listen and say hi to. So welcome. I see that Jason is on. He's watching from the other side of the door. I gotta get a drink really fast. I've got a tickle. And I also apologize if I start coughing or clear my throat or have to put in a cough drop. The cough's a little better, but it's still there. So I'm going to go ahead and get started this evening. I actually have, if we have time, I have 2 bottles here. And actually, let me go ahead and take off my ugly mug. So I have 2 bottles here that I previously chalked. This one was using the Grateful or Hello Autumn transfer, Club Couture transfer from, I believe it was September maybe. So it has some fall leaves on the bottom. And then this bottle I did in October with the Booyah transfer. And then we also did this board and base with the Booyah transfer. So the cool thing about Chalk Couture is that on these particular surfaces, this boutique board and these 2 wine bottles, I can wipe the chalk paste off with water, and I can redesign on these surfaces. So that's one of the cool features about Chalk Couture products, is that on most non-porous surfaces like glass, chalk, boards, and metal, I can redesign. Usually on woods and all fabrics, it is one-time use. And even with fabrics, you can heat set the ink to be permanent. So I think what I'm going to do first is let's remove the transfers that I'm going to be using and lay those to the side. Let's get, I'm just going to grab, let me get this towel back out. I'm going to take, because I also want to use, I want to remove the design off of this chalkable chip. Let's go ahead and take it off the bow. Looks like I'll have to cut that one. So we've got the chip ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray down my surfaces. So I'm going to spray the chalk chip. I'm going to spray the glass bottle. And what that does is the water reactivates the paste so that I can wipe it off easier. Take this. We may not do both bottles, but at least I'll show you how easy it is to take off. So I'm just removing the bows from these bottles. And then we can take the little 5x7 chalkboard out of the board and base, and we'll also spray it down with some water. And then I'm going to get my paste scraper out, but you could use an old gift card. You could use a credit card. You could use, if you have a scraper for your vinyl machine, or you can just let it sit and soak a little longer and it will come off even without scraping it. I'm also going to grab, I have a board and base and a water bath right beside me. So I'm just grabbing my board eraser to kind of help wash that off a little more. Grab a paper towel. So I'm just finishing up with the board eraser, and that got rid of the design entirely. You can't even see any shadowing. So that one is ready to go. I forgot to spray this one off. Oops. Cheers. Okay. Lights keep popping out. Okay, so that's been sitting longer, so give it a good scrape. It comes right off with the scraper. So I'm just wiping my scraper off onto my towel, all that gunk. Let's get the board eraser out. It works a little better. Okay, so I've got the front side clean. So I'm just scraping off that old paste. These are shimmer, so they're a little bit more stubborn, but give it a little bit more water. A few dots up here. This purple one, of course, is going to be stubborn. Surprise, surprise. Okay, so let's dry that one off. I'm just going to pull these lights out. Okay, so we'll let that one sit and dry. Now let's do this little chockable chip. Easy peasy. Finish it off with my board eraser and you won't even be able to tell. Perfectly clean. The chockable chips are the same surface as these boutique boards, like the board and base, the board and pillar, the bistro, spinning bistro sign, the Sylvie boards. Those are all the same surface, so they are all redesignable. Now, if you did want to keep these permanent, you could spray seal them, but where's the fun in that? So I'm just scraping off the designs. And these have been on there since, gosh, probably September. Pretty easy to get off. I'm just trying to get all that gunk gone. See where I might have missed. I'm going to come back in with my board eraser and it's going to get the rest of that off. Okay, that is all clean. I'm going to throw that paper towel away. Okay, so let's get another paper towel. Dry that off. I'm going to pull the lights and hopefully the leaves out of this one. Yeah, that might be easier said than done. We'll do that one later, but at least I got it clean. So I'm going to come back in and I have, for this glass, just because I've been touching it with my fingers, I'm going to get a lot of the oils that were from my fingers off and make sure I get all of that glitter paste off. So I'm just coming in with some Windex. You could also use rubbing alcohol. And we'll let that one sit for, we'll let that one sit for a little bit. So that one's good and clean. So put that away. Okay, so let's bring in our board and base. And our transfers. So I haven't quite decided what I want to put on here yet, but I have the Hugs and Kisses. This one is specifically sized for the block sets, but you're always, it's fun to think outside of the box to put these on something else. So we got this transfer. We also have the Club, Club Couture transfer for the month. I'm definitely going to use these minis on the tag for the bottle, so it'll go on the chip. And then this one is a retired transfer. It was actually a Club Couture transfer from 2019, but I definitely want to use the little conversation hearts. So actually, I think I do. I think I'm going to pull the love and the each other from this Club Couture transfer and put it on this 5x7 board and base. So what I want to do is, because the board and base sits maybe about 1/4 of an inch to 3/8 of an inch into the base, I want to account for that. So a helpful tip is I'm just going to take some placement tape. I'm going to take a couple pieces, just small pieces. You don't need big pieces. And I'm going to make sure that board and base is pushed all the way in. And then I'm going to line this placement tape up with the top of the base. Roughly, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to take the base off. While I'm at it, I'm going to grab a cough drop. Okay, so because I want to see where my board and base ends, I'm going to take a longer piece of tape and I'm going to line it up with those two little pieces that I used just as kind of spacers or placers. So now I know my design can go down to this tape. Just a little cheater hack. Okay. So these are, I showed you a few of the transfers. These are silkscreen reusable transfers. They're reusable about 8 to 10 times depending on how well you take care of them. They do have a sticky back. Because they are reusable, it is helpful to put the name of the transfer on the back side so that you know that this transfer belongs to this backer sheet and that this is the back side of the backer sheet. So I usually peel my backer sheet away from my transfer. I don't think I'm going to fuzz this one. I do see a hair I want to try to get off. I have used this one before, so it still has quite a bit of sticky, but it's not terribly sticky. I'm going to turn this upside down so that I can see it better. I'm going to try to line the love up near the top of the board. So I know that, oh, I've got plenty of room. Uh-oh. And you want to try to avoid that. Oh, wait, nope, I don't. I'm pretty good. So I think I'm going to leave it just the way it is. And you can always use your square edges of your transfer to make sure that everything's even. So I've just kind of folded that down, and you can tell I'm fairly even. And I can see my placement tape through my transfer, so I know that we're good down here on the bottom. So I'm just going to rub my transfer down. I'm going to burnish it and make sure that there aren't any bubbles in my silk screen. I'm going to bring that transfer tape or placement tape back in, and I can use these pieces to remind me that I don't want to paste here, because I will forget. So I'm just masking off these places that I don't want. Because I will forget. Put a couple there. And a couple there. Okay, I think we're ready to chalk. Okay, so I picked out some colors. I have Raspberry Sorbet. I have Marvelous. I have white. And I still want to try to find a way to add in teal, but I'm not quite for sure how. So I think we'll just go with these three colors, again, because it matches the yarn that I want to use. So, and I have linked all of these in the description of the video. There's a cart link. So we have Marvelous, Raspberry Sorbet, and Bright White. I'm just trying to decide what colors I want where. I think we'll do the banner in white. And maybe we'll do love in Raspberry Sorbet and each other in Marvelous. Okay, so let's get some squeegees out. And a multi-tool. So yeah, okay. I think Yep, we'll do Love in the Raspberry Sorbet. So I'm just dipping my squeegee into my chalk paste. This is chalk in liquid form. It goes on wet and it dries semi-permanent. It is water soluble, as you saw earlier. So I'm just dragging it across the silkscreen material. So now I'm just taking off all of the excess, and I can put it right back in my jar. And then I can even out my squeegee lines. Where did that come from? Got a mess. Okay, so I'm going to peel this portion up. I probably don't need to because this is the new formula, but old habits die hard. Okay, so I'm going to dry it with my quick dry tool. So then I'm just going to lay my transfer back down gently. And then I'm going to do this portion down here. So I'll come in with the Marvelous. And don't mind the consistency of mine. I think mine froze when it was shipped to me. And this is the old formula, so it was more susceptible to freezing. So mine kind of looks like cottage cheese. The new formulas aren't supposed to do that. And I think I'm going to try to quickly do the white. Probably should have done it first. So let's see if we can speed race through this section. And I'm trying to hurry so that my Marvelous does not dry in the silk screen. Because if it dries in the silk screen and when I go to pull the transfer, it will pull all of that dry paste with it. And then that's no bueno. And if I get up into the other area where I didn't tape, I can show you how to fix it. Okay. It was quite a quick job. Okay, so now I'm going to pull it up, but I'm going to do it kind of carefully in case I have to go back in and fix the Marvelous. Nope. Turned out pretty good. Okay, so let's dry that. Okay, so I have a few places that you can see where I went over the transfer. There's a couple of ways you can fix that. And I'll show you. Now that it's dry, I would dry it before you try to fix it. So we have a detail tool that has a kind of a pokey end on it. So you can take that pokey end and just on this particular surface and kind of just scratch it off gently. Or you can just take a tiny bit of water and a Q-tip and you can just take off the areas that you went over. And I had a couple up here. We'll take that off. There you go. And I need to find maybe something that can go there. But for right now, we'll just leave it that way. So I'm not gonna totally seal these up because we'll be using them. I do want to just kind of keep the air from drying them out. So let's add, and I probably should have moved, I may still go back in and move that up, but we'll kind of play for a little bit. So this is just a heart I had in my stash. Take that off. I think we'll go around. So I'm just going to wrap this ribbon around the bottom. Yeah, I think I am going to need to. I definitely am going to need to move it up. Oops. Well, let's try that again. So I'm just going to wrap it around about 3 times. Thanks, Jason. Of course, I may have to repaint this heart. I forgot it was red and I used pink. Okay. So tie the knot. Oops. Okay, so let's put our little heart on here. See if I can get some of it through the end. Okay. So got that on. So I'm just going to make my little loopy bow. I'm going to try to keep that working tail shorter this time though. So there's that one. Cute little love one another sign. I definitely think I need to move this up and I need to paint my heart, but you can see how easy it is to redesign your decor when you're using Couture products. Okay, so now on to this bottle. I think let's get out a towel. Just to kind of help keep it from rolling all over the place. Although, let's wash our transfer before we get too far. Just so that it's not sitting over here in my water for so long. Okay, so I've got my little tub of water. I've got my towel. And then I'm going to pull out my... So again, I'm just going to scrub on the bottom of this tub. You can use a portable tub like this. You can use your kitchen sink. You can use a utility sink. You can use the bathtub. I'm going to pull this tape off. It comes off super easy. Throw it away. There's another piece. You just use any water source that you have. Water temp is your preference, just not really hot. Otherwise, you may melt your transfer. Another piece of tape. So I'm just going to come in with my board eraser, and I'm going to wipe off all of that chalk paste that we've had on there. And then I'm going to take it out of the water. Oops, I didn't get that very clean at all. And then I'm going to grab a disinfecting wipe. Actually scrub the top side because it did not come very clean. I've got a lot of white stuck in there. Okay, so I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to use the disinfecting wipe on the back. This helps get any paste that still might be on the back. It helps get any lint or fuzz that you may have put on it. Just trying to get some more of that white paste out. And I kind of think that this also helps wick away some of that water that it was on there. Okay, so you can either dry it like this, sticky side up for about 5 or 10 minutes. But I like to go ahead and just stick it back on the backer sheet. That way when it's completely dry, it's ready to put away. I also think it's a little easier to get it placed on the backer sheet the right way when it's semi-damp. And I'm going to clean up I got water everywhere. Okay, so let's bring our bottle back in. And I know I want to use some of these conversation hearts, and I think I want to use the Xoxo off of this panel because it ties in with the Xoxo of my conversation hearts. So this one is a brand new transfer. I haven't ever used it. So I'm going to write Xoxo on this side. And I'm going to put February 14th and then hugs and kisses. That way I know that this is the back side and that these particular transfer pieces go on this particular backer sheet. And then you'll also notice that this transfer has white lines. These are cut lines or score lines. I like to keep my backer sheets intact so I don't have a lot of backer sheet pieces laying around. So I'm just going to score my transfer apart and leave my backer sheet together. So I just lifted up a portion of this transfer, and I'm taking my scissors and I'm just scoring along that cut line. And now my transfer is in 3 different pieces, but my backer sheet is still intact. Okay, so I'm going to pull off the Xoxo. And it doesn't really matter where you put it, but if you want to find the center, a quick way to do that is to kind of line your design up. And you can either do it by the brackets or by the X and the O. So I'm just lining those up, and then I'm going to give this top piece of the transfer just a slight pinch. Oops. And so now I've got a center mark right there in my transfer. So if I wanted to, since I already have a knot where my bow is going to go, if I wanted this to be in the center, which I don't particularly want to, but if you needed to find a center to line it up with the center point on your surface, that is a good way to do that. So I think I want to put it towards the bottom. Oops, just about committed a cardinal sin. Because this is a new transfer and because this is on glass, I want to super duper fuzz the heck out of this transfer, because it does not matter how many times you fuzz, these are super sticky when it comes to glass. And if you do not fuzz and you pull this off and it's super stuck, you run the risk of stretching and distorting your transfer, and then it will not work correctly. And it doesn't matter how many times you fuzz, you'll watch, I'll still have a hard time getting this off of the glass. So I'm going to make sure that it's down and that I don't have any air bubbles in the silk screen. I'm also I saved this piece of transfer or placement tape that I used earlier to mark the bottom of my board and base. Hey Ashley, how are you? So did you get your, I saw that your craft space was empty. That was quite the feat, probably getting it unloaded and moved, and it definitely, yeah, I felt bad. It was so empty though. You did a good job. So we are redesigning these bottles. I had done a bottle in the fall and I'd done a bottle at Halloween. And those have since passed. So now we're redesigning. So I have this Xoxo on here. I just have to figure out colors. So I can bring back Marvelous. If I can get it off. And then we've got Raspberry Sorbet. Got Bright White. Oops. Doing this backwards. And then we need to try to bring in some red, I guess. Somehow. Any color suggestions? I could do like Raspberry Sorbet and then Marvelous, but that might get kind of tricky. Although we could give it a whirl. Let's grab a couple more multi-tools. And let's give that a whirl and see what happens. So I'm just going to mark off the top of these letters. And I'll try to go carefully side to side. Cross your fingers. Wish me luck. So I'm just going to use the multi-tool because it is a smaller squeegee. Ashley says she's ready. You're ready for bed. It was a pretty easy move. You unloaded your stuff on your new rollaway table. The hard thing is remembering how I had it. Egress window is still in progress. Hopefully tomorrow they will be done. Well, thankfully the weather is wonderful this week to be getting an egress window. They'll have done it quickly. Okay, so I'm going to do raspberry, marvelous, raspberry, marvelous. Hopefully. Hey, Ashley, I tagged you in a post on the Vendor Bingo group page. We'd love to have you in either February or March with your pens and your keychains. I think they'd be a huge hit. Jason can probably vouch and say that your stuff would be a huge hit. So I think it's February 5th and March 5th. I know Donna's looking for vendors. We'd love to have you. And anybody else out there watching in the Salina, Kansas area who might want to be a vendor. Okay, so let's pull this off. Let's see if I can do this without, I may be gambling here. Too much paste. Okay, 2 more O's. Let's hope the top line hasn't dried yet. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see. How many times did I fuss this transfer and it's still going to be a stickler to get off? Literally and figuratively. That looks pretty. So, my word of advice is when you're chalking on glass, fuzz about 5 times and then fuzz 5 more times because it'll still be sticky. Ashley says, thank you for the invite. You'll check your calendar and let me know. Things like basketball and housework are taking over your weekends, also trying to restock your inventory. I get it. I remember when Jane was Emma's age. Middle school and high school are busy. I've been collecting craft stuff since the beginning of time, but I really didn't start quote unquote crafting until Dane was junior, senior, and into college. The world revolves around them, and okay. So that's dry. Looks really cute. I'm glad I decided to alternate the colors. So I think we'll just stick to the same color palette. And then we're just going to add in our conversation hearts wherever. If you hear the dogs bark, Dane, speaking of Dane, he's home. So I'm going to try to paste these. Well, maybe we'll have to see. I'm going to try to paste these 2 or 3 times before I clean them. We'll see what happens. If not, I'll do a quick clean on them. See if I can get this fuzzed. It's either not very sticky. I have used these quite a bit, so I think we'll just try it and see what happens. So we've got Kiss Me up here. So we'll do those in white. So there's the Kiss Me, and I think I'm going to stand it up. I'll do a Kiss Me on the back. Try not to bother that other one. So as long as you rub gently and get a clean, the biggest thing is to get a clean swipe of all that excess paste before you pull it off. That way you can put it down cleanly again. So there's our second one. There was our first one. And then we'll put one down here. So I'm getting as much paste off as I can so that the transfer isn't yucky when I put it back down. Let's take a chance and do one more. That was not a good spot to put that. Helps to hit the transfer, Robin, on the silk screen. I pushed it just a little bit, but it's still pretty good. Okay, so we'll let those sit for a little bit. I'm done with the white. So we'll put that lid back on. Ashley said you really enjoy crafting. You finally got the Hello Winter transfer and your club transfer today. Cool. I just used part of the club transfer on this one, but I think I need to redo it and move this bottom part up, and my heart is red, so I need to repaint it, I think. I'm just making sure that these white hearts are dry before I go on to the next color. I don't know why to do that. I don't know why shaking it helps. Or why I think shaking it helps. Okay. Let's go on to the Xoxo. Again, we're using glass, so fuzz and then fuzz some more. Okay, so let's put one here. And I'll use the raspberry sorbet. This is such a pretty color. Again, try to pull off as much of that paste as you can because we're going to be dropping it again. I'm just going to gently lay it back down. I'll add some more paste. Pull off as much of that excess as you can. Well, hopefully for my booth. Oh man, I didn't get a very good pull off that one. I've tried selling, I don't know if you remember seeing the leaf one. I had that in my vendor table for a while, but it didn't sell. So the cool thing about this is that I can redesign it for the different holidays, and maybe one of these days somebody will want it and bite. Although I may put it on my little buffet where all my holiday stuff is. I'll probably make one for here, one for a home, or one for my vendor booth. Okay, so now I gotta figure out where to put. Let's see, I have 3. To put one. Right. Nope, I don't want it there. Put one right up front. Okay, I think that was the last one for that color. Okay. I think we'll just do, should we do Love Me or Be Mine for the last one? You kind of vote between yourselves while I give these a dry. I don't know, maybe we'll just use both. Because I somehow want to add red in. Jason says, be mine. Let's take a look real quick. Because I'm going to use this on the tag. Okay. Jason said be mine. Okay, so we'll use be mine. And we'll use, and we may try to squeeze just a few Love Me's in, and we'll do it in red, only because I want to try to get some red in for a specific purpose. So we'll do Be Mine and Marvelous. Okay, we'll do one here. And we'll do one, of course. Do one down here, and then we'll try to squeeze a little red one up in between there. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3. So under just trying to figure out where to put this last one. So put a red one there, maybe there, or put red, red. So maybe we'll put this last Marvelous one here. Oh, just got it on my finger. Okay. So there we go. Let's put the lids on some of these. Do a bit of a quick cleanup. Oh, phooey. No, be washing that towel. Okay, so let's bring in my red and another multi-tool. And then, oops, we'll bring in this last little conversation heart. But I want to dry my Be Mines. I love these little conversation hearts. You know, they'd look really cute on the jar cutouts. So you'd have a little jar of conversation hearts. I made a reverse canvas of that. And actually, it's at CJ's right now. Okay, so let's add a few little love me's. I think I had a couple of little holes right here. So there's one cute little touch of red. I think we'll put the other one right here. Not very many. I'm kind of an either red and white or shades of pink, but I'm not the biggest fan of mixing red and pink together. But I guess I need to get over that for Valentine's Day. Let's maybe do one. Let's see if I can do one on the lip. It's going to be a little tricky because the transfer is not going to want to sit. Yeah, nope, can't do it up there. Because the transfer does not want to sit flat. Let's see if I can squeeze one in here. Okay. Guess I don't really need to put this away yet because I will need it for the chip. Okay, so there's our love me's. Okay, so let's let that sit to the side and we'll do some transfer washing. And then we'll do our tag, which will be the last thing. So let's bring our bucket of water back in. And our towel. And our board eraser. Let's get this Xoxo. I need to tape. So I'm just using my board eraser to clean off all of that paste. And then I'm going to take, must have thrown it away, a disinfecting wipe. And we will do the back. That'll get off all of that lint that we put on there, which was especially helpful to make sure that the transfer did not stretch when we pulled it off of that glass. So I'm going to put it back on its backer sheet. So we'll get out all these other little pieces. So I've got Love Me, Be Mine, Kiss Me, and XOXO. So we'll put that away. Okay, so we'll just use our board eraser on the top side. Get all that paste off. And then we'll use the disinfecting wipe on the back side. And then we'll get our backer sheet out. And we'll put these back on. And you can leave these to air dry, sticky side up, for about 5 or 10 minutes. But I have a tendency to forget that they're drying. So I just stick them right back on and let them dry on the backer sheet. And there we go. Once these are fully dried, they will be ready to store. Okay, so let's pull our one last thing. These are the Valentine Minis. And again, they're reusable. I want to make sure I get them stuck on the right side of the backer sheet, on the right backer sheet. So I'm going to write the name of on the back. These also have score lines. I think I'm going to use this Love is in the Air. So I'm just going to score along those cut lines. And I'm going to fuzz it just a few times. Thanks, Ashley. You used two of the minis. I'll have to, did you go live? I missed it if you did. I'll have to go back and watch it. I have plans to do a garland. I love garlands. They're one of my favorite things to do. Okay, because I already have a hole in this, I know where the top is. So I'm going to try to center everything up. If I can. Okay, so let's get our paste back out. I know I especially love, I love the little truck right there. Okay, so let's get these back out. You went live from your kitchen. You used the heart in the truck. I'll have to watch that one. Okay, so I'm going to try to use all 4 colors to tie those back in. Let's get my dirty squeegees. Just trying to figure out. I think we'll do the word love in red. Done with that one. Maybe we'll do the word air in love red as well. And then we'll do is in white, and then we'll do the hearts in the 2 pink colors. I saw that someone had used the jar cutout and they painted it black. And then they put a tag on it with the little, because it says follow your heart. And then they, on the tag of the jar, they used the truck with the hearts. It was super cute. Okay, let's get the detail tool out here. So I think we'll do this heart and raspberry sorbet. Ooh, that is easier said than done. I hope my red doesn't dry. I hope my red doesn't dry. Okay. Okay, cross fingers that my red didn't dry. Nope. Okie doke. It was super cute. I think I saved the picture. I'll send it to you. Send it via message. It was super cute. Okay, so let's dry this. And then I've got a set of lights here. Okay. I think all my red ones are dry. So this is what we have. XOXO, and then all the different cute little conversation hearts. And then I have this table scatter that I actually found in my stash the other day. This is why I wanted to tie in the red. I hope these will fit. You know what? They don't fit. Never mind. We won't use those. Darn it. I'll have to figure something else out. So until then, there's some table scatter at Hobby Lobby that I bet will work. And so then these are just Cork Lights that turn on and off. So I'm just going to stick them in. I'll have to go get some table scatter, or I could use paper shred. I can get some of my solid color cardstock and run it through my paper. I got these lights on Amazon, but I would be more than happy to sell you a couple of sets because I have more than I need. I even have some wine bottles that I would throw in. If you're interested, let me know and I will shoot you a quote. I need to get rid of my stash. So I was toying with offering wine bottle and light bundles. So there are, you can't see it real well. I'll have to put do I have a towel? Oh yeah. Let's see if I can, does that help to let you see the lights? Of course, this is the wet towel. Go figure. I think they're both wet. That won't work because I really don't want to get that wet. Okay, you can kind of see the lights. So then I want to add on my tag. And then I think this is the loop that I used earlier, so we'll just reuse it. I need to look and see how much I paid for them and then do some math. Okay, I think that'll work. And then I'll just cut it off. Okay, so I'm just going to tie this on. tie a knot back in this one because I cut it off to get it through the tag. And then I'm going to knot this one and cut it off because it ended up too long. Let's change. I'm going to find my mouse. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, let's see if you can see it head on. Kind of, yes, no. So there's our tag. And so there's all of our little conversation hearts. It'd look cute with paper or something in it, but it was going to look cute with those hearts in it, but they didn't fit down the neck. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, well, I'm going to be done for the evening. Last week's Wednesday plans may have changed to this week's Wednesday plans, so I'm a little unsure about Wednesday, but I will let you know. I will definitely be back live on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, 11 Central Time. But if there aren't any questions, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the evening. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.